mathematics class. This class is for class 9th and we are going to start a new chapter from your syllabus, that is chapter number 20, statistics, and we are following the textbook Understanding ICSE Mathematics by M.L. Agarwal. Now before we start the statistics, this new chapter, first of all we need to know what is the meaning of statistics. So initially when statistics was developed, statistics came from the word status. This is the word from which statistics is being derived. Now what was the meaning of the word status? Status meant political state of any particular person, of any group, of any factory or anything. Means it can be of single person, single individual, political status, or political state. Status means political state. It may be of a factory, of a company, of a group of people living in certain region, or means different parameters are there to measure. Then what is the use, or what was it used for? Basically it meant that statistics was collection of numerical data. What is the meaning of statistics? Collection of numerical data on some aspects of life. Initially, long time back. Means what type of or what kind of numerical data it may be. It may be the way a person lives, and how many times a year he is going out for a vacation. Means different parameters were there on which it was collected, the data was collected. So what it is? Collection of numerical data on some aspects of life. Now those aspects may be different for different people, for different group, for different companies and everything like that. But now what is the meaning of statistics? Again, now the meaning of statistics, again collection of data. Again the meaning of statistics remains the same, collection of data or facts or information almost in every aspect of life. Now the meaning of statistics has been changed from some aspects to almost every aspect of life. As you know, the census is there. Now what is the meaning of census? Every 5 years, 10 years, or after every fixed interval, some government people come to your home to collect the data. How many of them are old, above 60, how many of them are infants, how many are adults, what is their educational qualification, and how many of them are servicing, I mean to say they are in a service or doing a job or doing a business or whatever. So nowadays the meaning of statistics is collecting data or facts from almost every aspect of life. Now when the data is collected, that is being arranged according to the requirement. What we do? We arrange the requirement, we arrange the data according to the requirement, and from that we draw some inferences. Inference means we draw some results. Suppose I am staying in a particular locality and there are 50 people living in that locality. So what is the meaning of that? So, and I check that how many of them, suppose there are 50 houses, how many of them are literate, how many of them own one car, two cars, or maybe more. So that all comes under this statistics only. Means we arrange, suppose suppose in 50 people, 20 people are having two cars, at least two cars. 5 or 2 people are having 3 or more, 3 cars, let's say. And let's say that 5 are no cars with them, and the rest may be having 33. Rest are having 1 car each. So this is what it is. This is a simple example that in my locality I have done a survey, I have collected some data, and that data is known as primary data. Means I want the result and I go to each and everyone's house and collect and ask how many cars you have and all that. So that way this is known as primary data. Then I will write that suppose house number A is having 3 cars, house number B is having no cars, house number C is having 1 car, house number D is having 2 cars, and so on. So this is the way I am collecting the data. So the data that is collected according to my need is known as raw data. This is the basic thing, raw data. Then we collect the data, we arrange them according to our own wish or according to the requirement, and then we come to an inference or come to a result. Now this was the basic thing about statistics. Now the next thing is about data. For statistics, we all need some data. To talk scientifically, everybody needs data. We cannot talk like that. So coming to the data is generally of 3 types: primary data, secondary data, and raw data. Now primary data is when the investigator himself or herself tries to collect the data on his own. Then this is known as primary data. Suppose I want to know that how many children are there in everybody's family. In your family, how many children are there in your family each? One method is I go to everybody's home, I record number of children 1, 2, 1, 2 or whatever. So that way if I collect the data, that is known as primary data. Now secondary data is to get the data or to get the information from somewhere where it has already been stored. So what I can do, I can go directly to the school, and from the school I can take out your forms or where you have filled that 1 sibling or 2 sibling, and from there I can collect. So that is secondary data. Secondary data means collecting the data from stored, where it is stored. From stored, wherever the data is stored already, we can get the data. That is known as secondary data. And what is the meaning of raw data? Raw data means this would have been arranged. This is arranged. How it is arranged? Because I go to the school, I take out the file of let's say class 9th, and from there it is already 9th A, 9B, 9C is there. So I can find out, once it is stored there and also arranged, I can just take out the file and come to know how many children are there in the families, in everybody's family. But raw data is, suppose I go to the school, open the first form that you have filled in there, if there is a column of sibling, from there means this data is not arranged. The main thing is this data is not arranged. You have to arrange according to your requirement. So these are 3 types of data in which we will be studying. First is primary, where the observer himself or herself goes and collects the data. Secondary data is from somewhere if I get where the data is already arranged and stored. And raw data is the data is already arranged, is not arranged but already stored, that way. Now next is we will talk about variables. Now next thing is variable. Now what is a variable? In your syllabus we generally measure mean, median, mode and all these things. So what is the meaning of variable? Variable means quantity which is being measured. What we are trying to find out with the help of statistics, that is known as variable, and that is marked as sometimes X or Y or whatever you can take. So generally we mark X, and this also you know what is the meaning of variable in algebra and other things. So variable is generally the quantity which we are trying to find out or which is being measured. Now variable can be of 2 types, continuous and discontinuous. This is number 1, continuous, and this is number 2, discontinuous. Now what is continuous variable? Continuous variable can take any value between 2 given values. For example, if I record the height of people or weight of people, so if weight is for, let's say 49 kgs, then somebody's weight is possible 49.2 kg or 49.9 kg or 50.6 kg or whatever. So in this case, this data is continuous, means the weight can take any value, maybe 49, 0.2, 0.9, 0.6 or whatever. But what is discontinuous data? Which cannot take any value between two given values. For example, I talked that number of family members in a family. So it can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or whatever, but it cannot be 2.5 members in a family. It is not at all possible. It means this data is discontinuous because it cannot take any value between two given values. Between 2 and 3, 2.5 lies, but it is not possible that in any family there is 2.5 members or 2.75 members or 2.93 members. It is not possible. So this type of data is known as discontinuous, whereas data which can take any value between two given values is known as continuous, variable. Now we move on to some other topics. Now the other things that you need to know is range, variate, frequency and frequency distribution. Now what is the meaning of range? Range means the difference of maximum and minimum is called the range. Suppose I say, what is the range of passing marks? So we know that generally we have 40%. The minimum is 40% of passing and maximum is 100%. Or out of 100 you can say 40 marks. If you get 40 marks, you are declared pass, and even if you get 100 marks, you are declared as pass. So what is the range? Range will be maximum is 100 minus minimum is 40, that is 60 is the range of passing or passing marks. The range of passing marks is 60 marks. We can say 60 marks. So this is the meaning of range. Range means whatever is the value given, from that maximum minus minimum is the range. Now variate, what is the meaning of variate? A particular value of the variable. Just now you studied variable. So particular value of variable is known as variate. Suppose I get the value of x as 9. So 9 will be called as variate. Now next is your frequency. Frequency, you know, number of times the oscillation and all that according to the physics. So same comes here also. Number of times a variate occurs or a variable occurs in a given table, in the given data. So the basic thing is number of times the variable occurs in a data is known as frequency. Then frequency distribution. Frequency distribution means it is a tabular arrangement that you must have studied in class 8 also or previous classes also, that there are a number of data given, suppose 2, 9, 6, 4, 2, 8, 6, 1, 9, 7, 4, 2 and like this. So what you generally used to do, how many times 1 is occurring, 2, then 3 is not there, 4, 5 is not there, 6, 7, 8 and 9. We used to make the tally marks. 1 is occurring 1 time, so tally is 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 3 times, so 1, 2, 3. Tally 4, 1, 2. 4 is 2 times, so we wrote 2. So this is how we mark the frequency distribution of a particular variate occurring in a given data. How many times, suppose I say how many times 2 is occurring in this whole data, so you can easily make out 3 times, so 3 times. This is your tally table and this is your frequency, how many times it is occurring. So this we have already learnt in this previous classes. You know that when we make the table, it is also known as frequency distribution table. So we are not stressing too much on this. Now we move on to the next thing, and now we have 2 things to learn. First is mean and then other is median of ungrouped data. Now what is the meaning of ungrouped data? Which is not being arranged in a particular group. Which is not arranged in a particular group. Suppose I say that these are the marks of students of in a test out of 10. So if I want, I can make the table, or I can make them, this is the raw marks, so I can write number of students between 0 and 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6, 6 to 8 and 8 to 10. This is known as grouped data. Grouped data means I have grouped whatever data was available with me. I have broken into particular groups, the way we do it in the exams. Who is getting more than 60%, more than 60%, who is getting more than 70%, who is getting more than 80%, more than 90%, and that's it, because after that it will be 100. So like this we calculate. So this is known as group data. This is known as ungrouped data. So first of all, ungrouped data, we will be studying about mean and median of ungrouped data. Now the first thing that we need to know is what is the meaning of mean of ungrouped data. So what is the meaning of mean? Sum of all the values divided by the number of observation. What is the meaning of this? Suppose we have a raw data or ungrouped data, which is one value is x1, other is x2, x3, x4 and up to how many? Xn values. Suppose these are my observations regarding any experiment. Suppose any experiment was there and I have recorded x1, x2, x3, x4, xn. So what is the meaning of mean? Mean is basically, normally we say, is the average. We used to study average in smaller classes, or in the previous classes we used to study about the average. So same thing it is, that average. How we calculate average? Sum of all the observations divided by total number of observations. Same it is here, sum of all the values divided by total number of observations. So this is your data given. So number of observations here is, number of observations will be n, because 1, 2, 3, 4 up to n observations. So mean is written as x bar. It is denoted by, there is a line on the top, x bar, and that is written as x1 plus x2 plus x3 up to n times plus xn, and total number of observations is how much? N. So divided by n. This is the first formula that we need to remember. So in this, first of all, we will be doing few questions based on the mean. Now this you have learned that mean, that is represented by x bar, is x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus xn upon n. This total 1, 2, 3, 4 and summation is written by summation. It is represented by sigma. This is sigma xi, where I is from 1 to n. When I is 1, then xi will become x1. When I will be 2, xi will become x2. When I will be 3, xi will become x3. So up to n, when I will become n, xi will become n. This is the short form. How do we write? And upon n. So this is equal to x bar. This is the small way to write. Means this is one more method to write, that mean or average. Basically we call it mean because we are studying statistics. Otherwise you can say it as average also. So mean is summation x. X is the variable, sum of all the data. Now xi upon total number of observation. Now for this I am taking a question from exercise 20.1. I am taking up question number 2. Now I'll read out the question. They say that 5 people were asked about the time in a week they spend in doing social work. Number of people are there? 5. 5 of them are asked for how much time they spend on social work in a week. So one said he is spending 10 hours, 7 hours, 13 hours, 20 hours and 15 hours. This was the response, means some data was collected from a group of people. There were 5 people and they were asked how much time they are spending individually on social work in a week. Now what do they say? Find the mean time in a week devoted by them for social work. So you have to find mean time. Mean means average. We have to find mean time of social work they do. So we know that x bar is equal to, these are the values of x data that we are following, x1, x2, x3, x4, x5. So we will simply say 10 plus 7 plus 13 plus 20 plus 5. This is the data, and how many observations are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So total number of observations n is how much? N is 5. X1 you can say 10, x2 you can say 7, x3 is 13, x4 is 20, and x5 is 15. So upon n stands for this 5, n was 5. So this comes out to be 20, 20, 40, 50, 60, 65. 65 upon 5. So average comes out to be 13 hours, means on an average or mean of each and every individual who is spending time on social work is 13 hours. So with this I am coming to an end of this class. In the next class we will be discussing some more questions, and also we will be discussing about the median of the ungrouped data. So there is a difference between group data and ungrouped data. In the group data we use different formulae. In ungrouped data this was the basic. So we have just started this. Now we'll meet in the next class. Till then, stay blessed, stay safe, stay at home, and keep on studying. Thank you all.